Kautukastu. I'm a member of Trans Amazon Student Club of IC Bangalore. So it's a great pleasure to see you all once again. Thank you for joining us and continuing the journey of reflection and growth. So today we'll discuss about chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. So as we arrived at day 7 of our 18-day Gita reading series, we'll discuss in detail what does chapter 7 introduce. But before that, let's have a brief look at what we learned yesterday. So we learned that mastering the mind is harder than conquering the world, but it is the real victory. We also saw that consistency in habits are matters more than in intensity once in a while. We learned that mind can be our best friend or biggest obstacle. It depends on how we train it. How we can train it? We can train it via medication and detachment. So we'll begin today's session, but we have a warm-up activity for all of you. So an image will be displayed and you have to briefly describe what does that image illustrate. So can we have the image, please? Yeah. So I hope everyone can see the image. It's being displayed. So you can write in the chat box or can unmute yourself and just briefly describe then in one line, what does this, 1 or 2 line, what does this image illustrate? Anyone? You can just unmute yourself and speak up.
All Panchabhutas are within me. Is that what I think God is saying?
Okay, yeah. So not exactly, but Panchbhuta thing, the those who don't know, it's the 5 elements of a human body comprises of. So somewhat similar. So let me tell you what does this image describes. So you can see the picture. There you'll see the spirit soul sustains the material world, the material universe. You can see the earth, water, fire, air, ether. So these are the 5 elements, the Panch Tattva which said. And these elements are represented as a body and a subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and false ego. So if you look at carefully at the forehead, so the red dot represents these things, the mind, intelligence, and false ego. So together these 8 notes the universe. And if you carefully look at the center, the heart of the body, this universe body, so you will see Lord himself sitting up there. So controlling the entire universe and the working under its guidance. So okay, so this image is taken from chapter 7 and referring to the words 4 of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. Okay, thank you for sharing your thought, Rajsekhar. Now today we'll reflect on a simple yet powerful truth. We'll discuss about knowing about life is not the same as understanding the life. We may read books, hear talks, seminars, collect information, but real wisdom begins only when knowledge is lived, practiced, and experienced. So just as reading about swimming won't help you, you can't learn swimming just by reading it. You have to do the practice. So you have to experience the learnings, not just learn it on theoretical basis. So today's discussion invite us to move beyond information. We'll move toward transformation. The transformation where wisdom becomes visible in how we think, act, and relate to the world. So are you guys ready for today's discussion? Please give up a thumbs up in the chat box. Amazing. So with this intention, it's my great pleasure to invite our esteemed speaker of the series, Sri Vigrah Das Prabhu from ISKCON Bangalore. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Kautuk. Hare Krishna, everybody. Very happy to be amidst all of you for the next session, another session on Bhagavad Gita. Let us begin with prayers. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are going to talk about the seventh chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is entitled Knowledge of the Absolute. And we are also going to touch upon this point, as I discussed yesterday. Are there many gods? Right? We will talk about it. So, this is one of the core chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, as I mentioned yesterday, the entire Bhagavad Gita has got 18 chapters. The first six chapters and the last six chapters are often compared to the binding of the book, right? The the beginning and the end. The but the middle six chapters are said to be the core chapters, the core teachings of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. The first six and the last six are like the wrapper for the book. And the middle one, six chapters, are the core teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So let us today we have some 5 points I had planned to discuss all of you. So let us quickly get into those. The first point is knowing about life is not enough. Real wisdom comes from lived understanding. See, there are two words used in this chapter by Lord Krishna, jnana and vijnana. Can we have the first slide, please? Jnana means theoretical knowledge, and vijnana means realized knowledge. So, Lord Krishna talks about in this chapter, I'm going to tell you both the theoretical knowledge as well as the way to realize that knowledge. Jnana alone is not sufficient. It has to become realized knowledge or vijnana. Vishishta jnana iti vijnanaha. That is the definition. Realized understanding. So we need to not just study Bhagavad Gita just for the sake of memorizing shlokas or concepts, but we need to live this knowledge in our daily life. Then we can actually bring about the required transformation, right? Just like we have this as science students, we always have been taught in the school, in the college, in universities that we learn a particular law or a principle or a concept, and then we always are bothered about how that law or principle works in our life. What are the practical applications of those principles in our daily life? What is the use of simply learning concepts if there are no real life applications of those concepts, isn't it? So the Bhagavad Gita is not simply teaching us some concepts, some laws. No, these are always in relationship with our daily life. There are a lot of applications of these concepts and knowledge that Lord Krishna is mercifully revealing to all of us. So knowledge is theoretical and wisdom or vijnana comes by practice of that theoretical knowledge. So Lord Krishna in this chapter says that I'm going to talk to you about both knowledge and the realization of that knowledge. Let's go to the next point. Lord Krishna talks about one interesting point here. Behind nature, talent, and intelligence, there is a higher source. And Lord Krishna says that higher source is me. In fact, in the very beginning of this chapter, Lord Krishna gives a list of five material gross elements and three subtle elements. Bhumirapo analo vayuhu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankaram iti yamme bhinna prakritir me ashtada. Lord Krishna says, these are the eight separated energies of mind. And what are these eight? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. These five are the Panchabhutas, or the five great elements, the gross elements, which make up everything in this universe, including our bodies. And then Lord Krishna also says, beyond these eight gross material elements, there are three subtle material elements called as Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And Krishna says both of these gross and subtle material elements are my energies. That means the hardware part of our body and the software part of our body. What is the hardware part of our body? Our gross body, which we can touch, feel, and experience, which we can see. That's the hardware part, the body which we are all able to see. And inside this, there is a software where the thoughts are uh, stored, the desires are processed, and calculations are made. Now, that's the software part. That's called manas, mind, intelligence, and ego, false ego. These are all real elements, but these are called subtle elements because they are not visible to our naked eye, nor we can touch and feel them. But we know that we all have a mind, we all have intelligence, we all have something called ego. And Lord Krishna says, I am the source of all these eight elements. And then he says, beyond these eight elements, there is another element, that is the spirit soul, the soul, which is finer than the finest. And that soul is also my superior energy. So these eight elements are called inferior energies of God because they do not have consciousness. Whereas the spirit soul, since it has consciousness, it is called superior energy of God. So in this world, whatever we are seeing, it is nothing but an interplay of various kinds of energies of God. And everything emanates from God. He is said to be the ultimate cause of everything that exists. That means the intelligence that we all have, the talents and abilities that we all have got, it is all coming from the higher source, the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan. So, this is a very important realization which makes us never disconnected from the absolute truth. The whole point of Bhagavad Gita, especially this chapter, is to make us realize that everything has to be seen as an emanation from that supreme source. We are all emanations of that supreme source. That means we have got a relationship with that supreme source. Never see anything as disconnected from that supreme source. This is called real knowledge, right? So, if the point is that we all have an intimate relationship with that supreme source. This has to be understood. Now, let's go to the third point. Turning to the Lord during difficulties is a sign of growth, not weakness. In this chapter, the Lord gives a list of four kinds of people who approach Him under various circumstances. See, we all, at some point in our life, we start thinking about God, about spirituality, because of various reasons. And Lord Krishna broadly classifies those reasons into four types. So Lord Krishna says, Artho artharti jignasuhu jnani cha bharatarshava. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukrutino arjunaha. O Arjuna, those who are sukrutinaha, those who are pious, those who have got some punya, what do? Four kinds of such pious people, they approach me, they render service to me, they somehow or the other come to me, the supreme absolute cause of all causes. And what are these four kinds of people? Artaha. Artha means the distressed. Everybody in this world at some point of time faces some difficulty where he or she realizes that it is not within my capacity to solve this difficulty. So I need a superior helping hand. And people who are pious, they turn to God. So artaha, those who are distressed, they approach God. That is the first category of people. The second category of people is artharthi, the seeker of wealth or material prosperity. Another reason why pious people, approach God is they know that I need a lot of resources, and on my own, I may not be able to arrange all those resources. And I know that there is a superior force or superior person sitting above all of us. He is in control of everything. And if he wills, he can supply what I lack. With this understanding, a pious person approaches God, prays to God, oh God, I need this. Can you please help me? So, this is another category of people. Artharthi. Artha means wealth. And the third category of people who approach God, they are called Jignasu. Jignasu means those who are inquisitive, those who have a lot of questions about why there are miseries in life, why there are difficulties, why is this world created in this way, why do I exist, what is the purpose of my life? A lot of questions, thought provoking questions. So, a person who is very keen to get clarity about such life's hardest questions, such a person is called Jignasu, inquisitive soul. He also approaches God for answers, for seeking clarity about these things. And the fourth category of people, Lord Krishna says, who approaches him, the fourth category, that's called Jnani. Jnani means a person who has true knowledge. He has understanding that actually God is the ultimate cause of everything, and unless I connect with Him, there is no meaning to my existence. I am, I am, uh, I am incomplete without relationship with God. Such a person who realizes this, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, one who understands that Vasudeva, Krishna, is everything. God is everything. Ultimately, He is the Sarva Karana Karanam, the cause of all causes. One who realizes this, he is called a Jnani, and he approaches God. So, all of us, if you examine your own lives, if we have approached God, we fall into one of these four categories. And Lord Krishna says a person who is turning to God during difficulty, actually, we should not think it is his weakness. It is actually a sign of the soul's growth. He is growing, he's advancing because he's approaching God, being impelled by whatever material circumstance. If one is actually approaching God, it is always good for him. For material reasons or for spiritual reasons, if one somehow turns to God, even because of difficult circumstances, that is actually a symptom of advancement of the soul. Because ultimately, we belong to God and we need to establish our connection with God. And difficulties can become an impetus for us to actually turn to God. In that way, difficulty, every disappointment in life can become an appointment with God. So, therefore, difficulties are also teachers in our life. Difficulties make us realize that we are limited, we are tiny, we cannot solve all our problems by ourselves. Oh, there is a supreme person, supreme powerful person. He can help me. We turn to God. We see in this painting Draupadi, Queen Draupadi, even though she was the queen of the Pandavas, very powerful uh, people, but she became helpless when she was being disrobed in the open assembly. And at that time, she tried to protect herself initially, but when she realized that her power is very limited, she actually surrendered to Krishna. And Krishna immediately reciprocated because her surrender was selfless and pure. So when we surrender to God, even because of some difficult circumstances, that is good for us because we are connecting with our absolute source. That is what Lord Krishna says in this chapter. Now, moving on to the fourth point, material success without spiritual clarity still feels incomplete. There is a point that Lord Krishna makes in this chapter, which is connected with the theme of today's discussion. Lord Krishna says, Kamai stahistai ritagnyanaha prapadyante anya devataha. Lord Krishna says, actually, I am the source of everything that exists. All living entities are my parts and parcels, including the great devatas. The devatas are representatives of God, they are authorized administrators empowered by God. So, yesterday I was telling, you know, in Sanatana Dharma, we think that there are many gods. Are there many gods or is there one God? Actually, the answer to this Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Adirhi Devanam. Lord Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the supreme Lord, and all others are called Devatas. So Bhagavan can be one only. Bhagavan means the supreme powerful personality, the supreme cause of all causes. And the many personalities who are empowered by him to, to supply the necessities of people in this world, of all species in this world, they are called Devatas. So Devatas are many. There are 33 crore Devatas as per the Vedic scriptures, but Bhagavan is one. Just like in a country, there is only one prime minister, and there may be many ministers, cabinet ministers, and then there are many ministers in charge of different departments. Ultimately, the power of the government is vested in the prime minister or the president, whoever is the supreme authority in that particular country. There cannot be multiple prime ministers. Then the meaning of the word prime minister is lost. Prime minister is one, but under him there are various ministers who administrate different aspects of the governance. In the same way, this entire material world, you can compare it to a universal government, and there is one supreme prime minister, the ultimate cause of all causes, and that is the Supreme Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. And under him, there are various personalities who have been empowered by the Supreme Lord to take care of various aspects of the universal government, and they are called as Devatas. Now, Lord Krishna says in this chapter, very interesting point. I am seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, Lord Krishna says. And if a particular person wants to worship a particular devata, it is me only who gives faith to that person to worship a particular devata. And then being invested with that faith, he starts worshipping a particular devata. And finally, he gets the material success. He gets the result for, for which he was worshipping a particular devata. But Krishna says, Mayaiva vihitan hitan. That particular result which he obtained by the blessings of that devata is actually sanctioned by me alone. Just like unless the prime minister sanctions, a particular department minister cannot actually release funds for a particular project. Ultimately, it is within the control of the prime minister. He will prioritize, okay, in this year's budget, these are the priorities. This is the money I'm wanting to spend in education field. This is the money we will spend in health field, etc. So each minister is capable of spending money that is sanctioned by the prime minister. In the same way, the results that we obtain by worshipping various devatas, Lord Krishna says, it is actually sanctioned by me. So Krishna gives the faith in a particular devata, in the worshipper, and finally it is Krishna only who sanctions the results. Now, what happens is, if a person simply worships devatas for getting material benefits, and he does not understand that ultimately even these devatas are temporary, these devatas are getting their benefits, their power to bless me from the supreme authority, Krishna. That means such a person lacks spiritual clarity. So, simply running behind material success is not the purpose of worshipping the devatas, actually. So, Lord Krishna says, beyond these devatas, I am there. I am the supreme cause, the supreme sanctioner. And unless you come to me, you cannot feel complete. The soul has got a hankering. That hankering cannot be satisfied simply by accumulating material success and material benefits. The devatas can only give us material success and benefits. But if we want spiritual realization, it is important that we connect to the Supreme Lord. That is the point that is talked about. So, unless we come out of our material aspirations, it is not wrong to have material aspirations. It's not wrong to have a desire that I want to do a good in my career. I want to accumulate money. I want to be a rich man. I want to be. These are all okay. But beyond this, these alone cannot give us complete satisfaction. That is what Lord Krishna is saying. You have to come to the spiritual understanding and become connected with me. So, this is the point. So, finally, the Lord concludes in this chapter by saying that, let's go to the fifth point. True knowledge begins when ego gives way to surrender. Suppose there is a, suppose I'll give you an example. Suppose there is a gamer and he's playing a particular game and he is stuck at one particular level. He doesn't know how to move about, how to actually tackle that particular challenge in that particular level of that game. And then he refuses to check the tutorials also. He thinks, I know better. So after failing repeatedly, what does he do? He finally watches the tutorial, watches the guide, and then he is able to clear that level easily. So far he was thinking, I know everything. So out of ego, he was unwilling to take, unwilling to see the reference or the tutorial video or seek help from others who know that particular level. That is ego. So ego stops us from accumulating true knowledge, from aspiring to get true knowledge. But when ego gives way to surrender, when we understand, I don't know this, let me go and ask somebody who knows it. So this is the way to accumulate or acquire true knowledge. So the moment ego steps aside and guidance is accepted, progress begins. So spiritual life also works in the same way. So Lord Krishna says, Give up your ego and become conscious of me. I am your ultimate well wisher and get connected to me. In fact, till the chapter 6, Lord Krishna is talking about detachment. For the first time, Krishna talks about attachment in the very beginning of this chapter. Krishna says, you should become attached to me. Your mind should become attached to me. Because unless you experience a higher taste, you cannot give up lower tastes. So Krishna says, if you want to really become detached, yesterday we talked about detachment as one of the principles to attain mind control, isn't it? So Lord Krishna says, without becoming attached to the Supreme Lord, to Bhagavan, it is not possible to become detached from the unnecessary pleasures or temporary happiness that we get cheated into. So therefore, how to develop this attachment to God? And Lord Krishna says that is possible by Shravanam, by hearing. We have to hear from Krishna as he is speaking through the pages of Bhagavad Gita. And we should also hear from his bona fide representative, a real guru who is a pure devotee of the Lord. So when we go on hearing, our ego dissolves, our ignorance goes away. Then we shall become attached to the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna, and we can engage in uh, loving devotional service to Krishna. So finally, this chapter says that one has to engage in bhakti, in loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, giving up his ego. So let us now engage in 1 minute of loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the easiest way by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I request all of you to please join me for this mantra meditation just for 1 minute. So we will be first chanting the invocation prayer. It is displayed on the screen. Please chant along with me. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Now we shall chant the Hare Krishna mantra together for 11 times. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. So this is called mantra meditation or japa yajna, the easiest and the most recommended process through which anybody can connect with God. In fact, Lord Krishna says in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. Among all different kinds of sacrifices or yajnas, the best one is the japa yajna, the process of chanting and hearing to the holy names of the Lord. So let us all chant the Hare Krishna mantra. My request to all of you is please do chant at least for 108 times every day. That is called one round or one mala. It takes only about 7.5, 8 minutes. So you can do it and you can connect with the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna. So now we'll move ahead. So tomorrow we are going to talk about yet another interesting concept called the law of last thought. In the eighth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is going to reveal something very interesting. What exactly happens at the time of death, and how should we prepare ourselves for that final examination, which is a surprise test called death? So, many interesting things connected with death we're going to talk about, because death is also part of our life. By avoiding talking about death, one cannot avoid death itself. So, Lord Krishna very realistically presents about this. We will be talking about it tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. Please do join us. Now we will move on to the next part. That is, yes, we also have this Friday uh, a very interesting session in the Indian Institute of Science campus in the TMC hall, first floor. Friday at 6:30 p.m. We are going to talk about the only desire. Spiritual life is not about becoming desireless artificially, but purifying our desire. It's all about purifying our desire. So, what is the only desire that an aspiring spiritualist must have? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals that in his Shikshashtakam. We are going to talk about that this Friday. Please do join us, and I'll be personally coming to the campus. We can also meet and discuss more if you have any personal queries. I'll be more than happy